Welcome to the feast. I unleash. I'm a motherfucking beast.
Alright. What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a grocery haul video, a meal prep video, and I'm going to take you through every single thing that I do to meal prep. The only thing that's going to be missing is my sweet potato recipe, which is in another video, and I will link that in the description box below. So first of all, let's go through the grocery haul. So these are a lot of my normal staples. I restock everything I need every Thursday. So it's just like when my class is in, and it's an easy time to go grocery shopping for me. So I recommend setting one day a week where you go to the grocery store, you restock on absolutely everything you need, and you start meal prepping that day. I think it just makes things easier from an organization standpoint to have a set date and time to do that. So Thursday's my day. Thursday afternoon is my meal prep time, and sometimes I'll finish it up on Friday morning if I need to. But here are some of my staples. So let's start with vegetables first. So I got 4 big zucchini. I use these for my meals for classes. And then I got this big family-sized bag of Brussels sprouts. This will last me 1 week. I got a small head of broccoli. It's cheaper if you just buy it like this and then cut off the stems, or like the big stem part at the bottom, versus buying a prepackaged bag. And then I bought this purple cauliflower. It's just, I don't know why it's purple. I guess they grew it with food dye, or it naturally occurs that way. I should look that up. But it's purple, and it makes my cream of wheat in the morning purple, and I'll put that recipe down below as well. My cream of wheat cauliflower recipe. So those were my veggies, and now for carb sources, I get these like prepackaged potatoes that are really easy to roast. If you don't want to spend the money on this little prepackaged thing, you don't have to. I'm just honestly really lazy and don't want to cut them in half when I'm already cutting like half of my other vegetables up and everything like that, and it's just convenient, and I like the seasonings that this comes with. But if you get the mesh bags of potatoes like this, it's a lot cheaper. So these are golden potatoes. I get these or the mixture of golden and red. You just heat the oven up to 450 and then throw them in, and that's literally it. So they're super easy to use, and they look like this, and they come with seasoning like attached on there. So I'll show you guys how to make those in a bit. But the next carb source that I have is these rice cakes. Just plain lightly salted. They're always my pre-workout go-to snack. And then my big carb source. So if you guys don't already do this, I highly recommend getting stuff in bulk. So I found this 10-pound bag of brown rice. So definitely look into finding stuff like this at your grocery store. Even if you don't belong to a Costco, Sam's Club, or BJ's, even Giant, like, so that's our local grocer. I found that huge 10-pound bag of rice for $6.99, which is actually cheaper than the rice that we buy from Costco. So we're about to make that switch. Yeah, so if you're buying stuff in bulk like this, you're gonna be saving a lot of money on every single time you cook rice. And then I bought some strawberries. I actually bought 2 of these, but I've already dug into the first one. And then as for protein sources, I get egg whites in cartons. And this is actually very advantageous. If you do buy these at Costco, they have the half size of these in packs of 6. And it's like $7 or $8 for that pack of 6, whereas this is almost $4 per. So you're saving a lot of money there if you buy in bulk from Costco. But liquid egg whites are pure protein, so if you're ever out of macros for your first 2 macronutrients and you need protein, egg whites are a go-to. The other protein source that I get is chicken breast. Usually if you have a busy lifestyle and you're not home, I can usually eat from home. I suggest getting the big pack of this from Costco because it's like $20 for probably like 4 times that, all packed in little like plastic wraps. And this was $10.38 for just like 4 chicken breasts, so you're definitely saving a lot of money if you buy in bulk for meats. Same goes for ground turkey, same goes for fish. Costco is definitely the go-to place to get, or any of the wholesale clubs, for big portions of meat, for meal prepping, for if you work 2 jobs or if you're just always out of the house. Highly, highly, highly recommend doing that. And then other miscellaneous things that I get, fat source that's my favorite is Skippy natural peanut butter. And then I also got garlic powder because I season like this giant thing of garlic powder because I season everything in garlic and salt and pepper. And I also got cashew milk for my coffee. Coffee recipe is in the cream of wheat cauliflower breakfast recipe, so I will make sure to write in that my coffee recipe is in that video as well in the description box. If you haven't gotten the hint already, if you need other resources, it will be in the description box. I also get reduced sugar ketchup. So this stuff is 1 carb per 1 tablespoon, when normal ketchup is 5 carbs per 1 tablespoon. So you're definitely saving macros when you use reduced sugar ketchup. It does have pretty much the same sodium content as normal ketchup unless you get like the reduced salt or organic ketchup. So you're not really doing yourself any harm if you already use normal ketchup and just get the reduced sugar. And then another fat source that I got that I love is organic coconut oil, and this is extra virgin coconut oil. To be honest, I don't know the difference between like virgin, extra virgin, extra virgin, or whatever, so I just get this. It's pure fat, so if you're ever behind on fat sources, you can literally throw this into anything. I've been actually putting this in my oats recently, and it's so good when it melts in, and it just adds a flavor and a creaminess to it. So anyways, that's my grocery haul. Let's get to meal prepping and enjoy the rest of this video. I'm going to do a voiceover for the rest of the video. Alright, what's up guys? So coming at you with a voiceover for this meal prep. So the first thing I'm doing are these little baby golden potatoes, and I do buy them in these little prepackaged things for the seasonings they come with and for the convenience. But I just want to let you guys know that this works for any sort of baby potato recipe, any golden or red potatoes. So if you buy them in bulk in the mesh bags, you can still use this exact recipe. You just have to cover a pan with aluminum and do the exact same procedure that I'm doing here. So all I did was unwrapped it, and now I'm spraying them with a light layer of PAM. So if you're doing this on a normal pan with aluminum, you want to spray the pan first, lay out the potatoes, and then do this here. I'm spraying them so that the seasoning will stick onto the potatoes. And then I'm just sprinkling on the seasoning. You can use whatever seasoning you want. This is like a chili blend seasoning, but some other types of flavors that I like with potatoes are Italian blend seasoning, as well as salt and pepper. So then after that, all you do is you throw it in the oven for 45 minutes at 450 Fahrenheit, and that's literally it. And you can do this recipe with the potatoes whole, or you can do it with them cut in half or quarters or whatever you like. Usually I'll just cook them whole like this and then cut them in half when I'm serving them later. So that's literally it. Just bake it for 45 minutes at 450 and then you're done. So enjoy this recipe and we will get right on to the next one. Alright, so here I'm showing you guys just how I prepare raw vegetables for eating them later. So things like broccoli and cauliflower, I don't cook in advance. While you can do this, I will say that the broccoli recipe is just the same as my Brussels sprout one that's going to be next, except at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, and that's the broccoli recipe. But if you just want to eat your broccoli and cauliflower or whatever vegetables fresh, then I just suggest that you chop it up and get it ready to go as much as possible before putting it away. That way, when you want something like broccoli or cauliflower during the day, you don't have to go through this extensive process to chop everything up and put it all away just to have one serving of vegetables. So it's very convenient if you do this in advance as soon as you get home from the grocery store, and just cut up everything and put them into Tupperware, because it's just going to make your life easier throughout the week when you're busy and you're in a rush. So this is really random, but I hope that helps. And the cauliflower is purple. I don't know why, but they sell it and I really like using it because it's a fun color. So that's all. Next recipe will be Brussels sprouts. Alright guys, so these are the Brussels sprout recipes. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna pull out some aluminum and you're gonna cover the pan with aluminum and crease it at the corners and pull it in tight to the edges of the pan. Make sure nothing's hanging off. And then you're just gonna spray everything with a light coat of Pam. And then you're going to take the Brussels sprouts and try to do this more gracefully than I did in this clip, but you're just gonna lace them out and you're gonna start cutting them in half, as well as cutting off the little rugged edges, I guess you could call them. So I do this for all the Brussels sprouts. I just think they cook better when they're chopped in half, and they're easier to eat when they're chopped in half. So just chopping them all in half and putting them on the pan here in this clip. Then after that, what you're gonna do is you're going to spray them again with a light coat of Pam, and that's so the seasoning is gonna stick onto the Brussels sprouts. And then after that, you are going to season the Brussels sprouts however you wish, and then into the oven they go, 400 degrees for 33 to 35 minutes. This is the same temperature as the chicken, so you can cook these at the same time. It makes things go by a lot faster, so chicken will be the next recipe. That's it, that's literally it. So you're baking it for 33 to 35 minutes until they're crispy on the edges, and this is what it looks like. And now on to the chicken recipe. All right, guys, so we are doing chicken here. So I just buy the big breasts of chicken, and the first step here is going to be covering the pan in aluminum. Then you're going to spray the pan with Pam, just like every other recipe that I've shown you guys. Then you're just laying out the chicken evenly across the pan, seasoning it as you wish. Oh, and don't forget to wash your hands. Touching raw meat, always wash your hands. And then you're gonna season the chicken as you wish. My favorite seasoning combination has not changed since like 6 months ago. So what I do is pink salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and chili powder. Lots of chili powder. So that's what it looks like. And then you just throw it into the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes. It's the same temperature as the Brussels sprouts, so you can do them together, and that's literally it. So the thicker the chicken, bake it for longer, and that's the chicken recipe. All right, guys, so finally I'm walking you through how I assemble my meal preps and everything I do for that. So first thing you gotta do is start the rice so that it's done when you're assembling your meals. So I will just follow the directions on my rice cooker, and if you don't have a rice cooker, there's easy ways to cook rice on the stove as well. But for this, you just fill it up with rice to a certain line and then double that in water and then just press cook and it goes. So if you don't have a rice cooker, it's very convenient. I highly recommend it. Then we're going to be going into the zucchini. So the way I know how to cook zucchini is in a pan. So what I have here is I have the pan on the scale. Put the pan on the scale and then turn on the scale, and then it'll be zeroed out like that. So you can literally just cut the zucchini straight into the pan and it'll count the number of grams that you're throwing in there. So here I am just spraying the pan with Pam, and then I will turn it on and zero it out. And then I'm throwing in the zucchini that I have just cut up into slices and then sliced in halves. That way I can just cut up all the zucchini and throw it in there and have the grams completely counted. So when I've done that, I will divide it by the number of meals I'm trying to make. And so for this, I was doing 9 meals and I had about 650 grams. So when I divided that up, I got about 70 grams per meal of zucchini. I have noticed that zucchini does lose weight when you cook it. It gets like waterier and it loses mass. So what I typically do is I'll just fill up the meals with about 63 to 65-ish grams of zucchini per meal, and I would just count that as 70 grams raw. And it's not really a big deal with stuff like zucchini that's literally probably 20 calories per 100 gram. If it were something like chicken or rice or something more dense, then I would be more careful about that. But with things like zucchini, broccoli, asparagus, I really just estimate with that and make sure I'm giving it to the meals in a range. Plus, I'm eating all of it throughout the entire week anyways, so whether or not it's exactly the amount I'm logging that day doesn't really matter if I'm eating it all throughout the week and eating the total amount that I plugged in. So here I'm just doing the exact same thing with the rice. I'm putting each Tupperware on the scale, zeroing it out, and putting in rice. And then once I'm done with that, I am putting in the zucchini, like I said, about 63 to 68-ish grams per meal if I'm doing 70 grams raw logged into MyFitnessPal. Now you could always just measure how much it weighs cooked and then just divide it up like that and have it be more accurate if you want to, but this is just the way I've done it, and it's the way that's fastest for me. So it's super fast because every time you put the meal on the scale, it's going to be pretty close to, if not already zeroed out from everything being the same weight already. And then same exact method here, putting the meal on the scale and then just cutting up the chicken and putting it into the Tupperware that way. With this, I was doing 2 ounces per meal, but I highly recommend, if you have trouble hitting your daily protein goal, putting in anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces of a lean protein into your meal prep per meal. For me, hitting my protein is very easy, and I actually have to eat less at a time so I don't go over. So that's why I'm only doing 2 ounces per meal here, and these are my meals for my classes. So I'll have about 3 of them on a normal school day. So do what's gonna work for you. If you struggle to hit your protein, definitely go a higher portion per meal. And if you're like me, then you can do less per meal. And this is what it looks like at the end. Zucchini, rice, and chicken meals. Super simple. You can do this with any sort of protein, any vegetable, any carb source, but this is just a way to assemble it that I find easy. Then when you're done, put them into the freezer, and then the night before you're going to eat them, take them out to thaw and just let them sit out on the counter for an hour or 2, and then throw them into the fridge that day, so that the next morning when you need to take them somewhere, they'll be completely defrosted. So that's how I assemble my meal prep, and that is all. Thank you so much for watching.